With respect to oil, as you know, the administration has taken a number of actions to stabilize the markets. As far as tankers through the Strait, something we're tracking very closely, but obviously the administration is coming up with creative new solutions by the day to keep the price of oil stable, something the president wants to see. Well, the White House moments ago tackling oil and gas price concerns as the battle over reopening the Strait of Hormuz continues. Kevin O'Leary is here, but first to Fox Business correspondent Edward Lawrence. He's live for us with the very latest on this at the White House. Edward, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Trace. And yeah, the White House moved the president, the administration moving forward with those talks to try and end these operations with Iran at the end of this week. Now, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt says that they are watching closely to see if and when oil tankers can go through the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, is there a time frame as to when the first oil tanker can go through the Strait of Hormuz freely? It's a very good question, Ed. I don't have a specific timeline for you today, but it's obviously something the administration is working towards as quickly as we can. So she would not confirm that the president is given the U.S. To verify, or what present was given to the U.S. to verify that talks with the right people are happening, as a tanker did pass through the Strait yesterday. But again, they will confirm, Wall Street Journal reporting that the U.S. plans to include guarantees for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz in their 15-point plan. The President Trump says the Iranians agreed to abandon plans to enrich uranium and ended support for violent proxies. The Iranians reportedly asked for compensation and for the U.S. to remove all bases in the Middle East, as well as create new payment plan for Iran to allow ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, WTI oil prices hovering around $90 a barrel, and that pushed the price of regular unleaded close to $4 a gallon, up 34% from a month ago. National security experts believe that eventually the help will come for the Strait. I think that there's great reason for optimism. And then, of course, now we have the Gulf states and potentially European allies willing to do much more to come alongside the United States, especially to get that Strait of Hormuz open. So once oil tankers go through the Strait of Hormuz freely, I'm told from experts that the price of oil and gas will drop pretty quickly, Trace. Yeah, Edward Lawrence, live for us at the White House. Edward, thank you. Joining me now, Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O'Leary Ventures and Shark Tank star and investor. Kevin, great to have you on the show as always. I don't know if you heard Edward right there, but he was saying that he thinks if the Strait of Hormuz opens, that prices will drop pretty quick. The New York Times, on the other hand, has a different take. They say the following: high oil and gas prices could outlast Trump's war with Iran, and goes on to say, even if Mr. Trump were to broker an end to hostilities with Iran before his new self-imposed Friday deadline, it still might be weeks, if not months, before American families and businesses see a true break in their spiraling energy costs. But you talk to any financial analyst and they'll say this market is so reactive, Kevin, that if they open the Strait of Hormuz in 15 minutes, in 30 minutes, the gas prices would drop. Well, the markets look at it on a forward basis. Oil trades on a forward basis. We've got about 45 days worth of oil floating on the water right now. In order to really have a very difficult situation stateside, you'd need 90 days at above $90. We're only 1 month. And so the minute Hormuz is open, oil prices will drop to mid-70s, as they were prior to the conflict. The market will adjust immediately. It'll take about 2 weeks at the pump for it to drop. And that's what the market thinks is going to happen. However, there's a more optimistic tone. I mean, in the middle of war and a conflict, it's difficult to, try and separate these ideas, because who likes war? It's horrible, and you feel sorry for the people in Iran. But the policy coming out of this is what investors are looking at. So let's just go down the list of what's going to happen. Energy security policy in North America is going to get accelerated. That means probably Keystone, they'll call it a different pipeline name. That was an unpopular name, but some version of that will get built to bring more of the number one importer, that's Canadian oil, for security into Cushing. That's guaranteed. Number two, we're going to see a change in the tone of the region. It's the first time in 60 years you've heard Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar all sing from the same song sheet, saying status quo doesn't work. That's really good for everybody because that's a lot more trade into Asia. That's the hub. UAE is the hub of trade for that whole region. That'll be a great outcome for investors like me. And I don't want to make light of the war. I keep saying that, but I'm thinking ahead 90 days here, and I'm liking what I see. Not the war. I keep saying that. I don't need the headaches on social media, but you know what I'm saying in terms of long-term vision. Third, which I find really, really intriguing, is no matter what happens, no enriched uranium, that's got to be found and taken out of the country. That'll be part of the deal. Hormuz will be open in perpetuity. We've got 22 nations talking about supporting that financially. That's just like the Suez or Panama Canal. Great for the region. It's a game changer in the sense that all of a sudden you have stability in the fastest growing part of the earth. It's very, very bullish for world markets. And again, I preface it, I don't like war, but you got to let this play out because the big vision here is to finally stop this problem we've had for 60 years, and I really like that outcome. I wonder of how much public pressure plays in this because, you have to ask, does the public sentiment kind of coincide with the gas prices going down? Because the AP North poll talks about this. How concerned are you about being able to afford gas in the next few months? Extremely, very concerned. Put this on the screen. In December it was 30%. Now it's 45%. It's a big jump. And then you have not at all concerned, December 45%, now it's 26%. So there's been a big shift, and I'm wondering if you think, well, listen, if the Strait of Hormuz opens 15 minutes from now and gas prices go up 2 weeks from now, does public perception, does public opinion follow? No, the American consumer is not stupid. I mean, I do a lot of business in the companies that sell to the consumer. You know that. They're very sophisticated, actually, everywhere. They get the joke. They're willing to take a small amount of short-term pain for stability and security of energy in perpetuity. That's where we're going with this. That's what we're trying to achieve here. Because before this, you got to remember, the most constrained area in the Strait of Hormuz is about 2 miles, and every 9 months, the Houthis or some other Iranian proxy would blow up one tank just to destabilize that region, cause the insurance prices to go up. We're talking about a world that doesn't have that going on anymore, and that's going to provide a lot of security to the Europeans, the Japanese, the Chinese, who, in a way, need this a lot more than North America does. We're self-sustained on oil in North America, but the price of the actual commodity is global, and the input cost to everybody. So that's why you're hearing, reportedly, 22 nations saying, why don't we get together in almost a quasi-United Nations and make sure this strait stays open forever? So you got to think about it as a positive for everybody. Everybody has skin in the game. It's unique in that respect. No other commodity is needed by everybody all of the time. Yeah, Kevin O'Leary, great to have you on the show. Thank you, sir. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.